Nice to meet you. Do you also live in Orangetown?
I don't know, I'm not sure. I think I'm in
town?
Pearl River.
Yes, I'm in Pearl River too.
okay,
That's
yeah.
where I live.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, you might see my signs around.
And you're
and
running for what?
for town board.
Town board,
For
okay.
Orangetown, yeah.
Orangetown town board?
Yeah,
Okay.
in November. It's about community first, not party politics. I'm Irish heritage. My dad's from Galway, Ireland, and he came here in 1959, and my mother's parents are both off the boat, as they say. Pearl River itself has a large Irish community, which is great. This is where I live, and I love. I was born and raised on Long Island, but family up here, and 8 years ago I decided to move up here with my daughter, and we love it. We love the community, we love the town, we love Orangetown as a whole is just filled with great people, from Nyack to Blauvelt to Orangeburg and Spark Hill, Palisades, all of the Piermont. There's so many things to do, so many recreational things to do. You have great restaurants, great activities for kids. You have a great sports complex at Veterans Memorial Park. You have the Gaelic field, which my daughter actually sang the national anthem at, which was very, very special for us.
She's beholden to no one. She is not controlled by anyone. She is her own person, and she really cares about this town. So she's going to bring just a breath of fresh air and a dynamic change to the town board.
What Heather Hurley brings to the table is unrivaled integrity, unrivaled ethical conduct, unrivaled passion for community justice and residents' rights. What she brings is a sense of government as an ethical body that is working on behalf of residents.
I've worked in the film industry, I've worked in the floral industry, I've done events, I've managed many people, I've worked in contracts with actors and with union members. I think having a diverse background like that really brings something different to the town board.
She is a passionate public advocate and a grassroots activist with an undeniable record. Heather scored a big victory together with other citizens of Pearl River and Orangetown in keeping Anelitech from coming and developing a very dangerous chemical plant.
So that's what we're looking to do. We want answers. And every time Mr. Sadowski is asked a question, either changes, he looks to somebody else, or he doesn't know. I would challenge him. I don't want to mention anybody in our team, Heather Hurley, to go against him. Information for information. And I can guarantee, anyone that knows Heather will guarantee, that they will come up woefully short.
Heather did a terrific amount of work with Anelitech and helped prevent a lot of toxic exposure that our children and we would have been exposed to.
Heather Hurley?
I was just wondering if the town board has received results from the stack test yet.
She's had fingers wagged at her, she's been scolded, and she kept coming back and speaking out on our behalf, on the residents' behalf. Now, as a town board member, she'll be sitting behind that desk. And I can guarantee you, if we need a voice, if we need a set of ears behind that desk as a community, not as a special interest, that's your person.
I just want to reiterate the mission of our inception in November 2014 of Stop Anelitech was to stop a chemical plant from expanding in a residential area where it has no place in a residential area. When we were fighting Anelitech, we were called all sorts of things. We were called obstructionists, anti-science, anti-business, which couldn't be further from the truth. We were fighting for community health. We were fighting for community quality of life for the residents, both in Orangetown and in Clarkstown, because the Clarkstown residents backed up to this facility as well. I love science, and we want to make sure that the right businesses are here in Orangetown, that they're being good neighbors.
We've been asking Heather, as a community, we've been asking Heather to run for town council now for years. Ever since she led the battle to get rid of Analytech and Pearl River, a polluter that was trying to set up shop in the middle of a residential neighborhood. And now with fighting for people at the other end of our town, outside of her neighborhood, folks here in Blauvelt.
New tonight, outrage in Orangeburg, where residents fear a local plastics company may be making them sick. News 12's Lisa Reyes has the latest from a community meeting in Orangeburg for us tonight. Lisa.
Well, Tim, more than a dozen people lined up inside this building to speak in front of the zoning board and in front of the company. One woman says she was taking a walk last week and the smell was so strong she said she felt like she was choking. Many people coming here hoping to get answers from the company, but those answers were hard to come by.
Explain what the odor is. I don't know.
A packed meeting at the Greenbush Center in Orangetown Wednesday night as zoning board members discussed the dozens of complaints they've received about Aloof Plastics. People living near the plastic manufacturing plant say the facility is emitting an odor so strong it's making them sick.
It smells sometimes like a perfumed floral chemical smell, and sometimes it smells like burnt plastic.
Our whole process throughout the Clean Air for Orangetown was, looking at the maps, the zoning maps, and saying, why isn't there a buffer? Why between industrial zones or light industrial manufacturing zones, there should be a certain amount of buffer room between residential homes. And here we found that there is really not, and that's an issue. You see Dominican College down here, how close the dormitories are and how they back up to the back of Aloof. This is the rail trail that goes through Orangetown, and it's a beautiful path that people can use. Aloof is not operating, so there are no noxious odors, which is great, and I wish it was like that every day. Unfortunately, this is a company that needs to be held accountable, and it needs to clean up its act. And these are businesses in Orangetown that we need to stay on top of. We cannot have citizens and residents living around facilities that are not being good neighbors, that are not being respectful to the people who live around their facility. For land use boards or chair people to say, well, you shouldn't have moved there, is not an excuse. It's not acceptable. What's not acceptable is a company like them coming out and polluting neighborhoods with noxious odor. I mean, are they going to be closing up every hole in the building that you see? We just saw that blackened vent on the top of that building. I mean, is it coming from there?
She's been working tirelessly to stop emissions of noxious odors from Aloof. I think time has come to vote for somebody who's not just making empty promises, but somebody like Heather, who will fight to enforce the town code and protect the quality of life for all residents of this beautiful and historic town.
She has an amazing amount of energy, intellect, articulation, organization. I just think it's a perfect fit for all of us and for the town.
There are many issues in Orangetown which are very important to me. One being obviously quality of life issues and environmental issues. Another one would be economic development issues. That storefront or a chain of stores where it was really sad that, you drive past and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 vacant spaces. What can we do as a town to encourage small business, to encourage people to come here and open their business here and, you know, maybe even move their families here to stay in Orangetown and add to the community and bring businesses here that we need. And, you know, that's part of my economic development plan, hopefully, for Orangetown. I do want to form an Orangetown Economic Development Committee made up of business owners, citizens who are not business owners but have very good input into what they see in their towns.
Heather has an understanding of the state, county, and local level agencies that I think would be a really tremendous asset to our community.
We have town codes that have yet to be changed. These things must be done. I'm tired of talk and no action. Heather is all about action, and she will back it up with the knowledge and the factual information to get it done correctly.
Heather understands the importance of modernizing our town codes as new technologies come into town and enforcing our existing codes, because our codes are in place for a reason, and if they're not being enforced in the proper way, things can negatively impact the town. We need to keep control at a local level so that the people who are elected are representing the people who live here and who voted them in. You want to be sure that you have all of the information you need when you're making decisions for the town. You want to make sure that you hear all of the residents' concerns, their opinions, them weighing in so that you can make an informed decision on behalf of the residents. So not on behalf of your own personal opinions or your own party. You're elected as an official to represent the people who elected you.
She isn't in the bureaucracy. She's outside of it, and she is able to hone in on what's really important to the people in this town.
She makes no apologies, and she walks the talk. She will work very hard for this town, and she will always put Orangetown first.
I'm voting for Heather. I think she has my interests and our town's interests and in mind, as well as our children's interests for a better and brighter future for us all.
I'm voting for Heather because she's relentless, she's smart, she shows up ready to work, and she knows what's going on.
She is a relentless pursuer of the truth, and she's an honest, real person, a small business owner who wants what's best for us.
Heather Hurley's there fighting on our behalf. That's the background that I think is unimpeachable.
I vote for Heather because Heather is the best choice out there.
It's not a question of if Heather will fight for the residents of Orangetown, because she has been fighting for the residents of Orangetown. She fights with the urgency and the intensity of a mother protecting her child.
I'm Heather Hurley, and I'm running for Orangetown Town Council. Vote for me on November 7th. So pretty out here. Such a great asset to Orangetown, I think, and see all the community come out and hang out and just enjoy this beautiful day by the water. It's beautiful.